Alrighty, does anybody remember what we were talking about last week? 2 words.
Free will.
Free will, that's right. Alright. It's a huge, huge topic that's very important. We concentrated on trying to understand what freedom meant and what will meant. And let's see what we will do today. So that was the 4th of a whole section that we had concentrated on. Still have plenty to go. We're still in chapter 4 of the nature of personal reality. And still basically continuing in session 621, yep. Okay. And we ended way back on September 7th, down at one of these last paragraphs where it talked about actually the Industrial Revolution. If you remember, it said, with the Industrial Revolution, however, even the elements of nature lost their living quality in man's eyes. So I'm trying to find a good starting spot here. Why don't we have an opening prayer? Dear Lord, thank you for giving us a few minutes to be together and do some studying. And in the process, as we learn to develop our connection with you, we will be able to have a concept in our minds to concentrate on, and that will be able to strengthen our connection with you and affect our daily lives. In the name of Jesus, amen. That's probably something that I forgot to really mention. The whole idea of thinking about God, okay, and developing a concept in your mind of what God is because then, instead of thinking in physical terms, I'm going to go get a glass of water, okay, what you do is mentally, you think in mental terms, I'm going to go and put my mind on the bridge that connects me to God. However, you have to build that bridge with your own mind. You have to spend time with your imagination, your dreaming, your praying, your thinking, and your feeling, and put together this whole secondary idea in your mind that you have to focus on. By doing that, then you will have strengthened your connection to God. Now, God is constantly giving us creative force every moment, okay? And many, many ways messages come through that we can interpret. I would guess probably, if we just had to really look at it, probably hundreds of thousands of messages could be gleaned and seen in certain ways that would indicate that there is a connection to God, even on a personal level. But we're so busy with everything we're doing, we rarely even take time to understand any of this symbolic connection that is occurring. Now, this is going to help in the future. For example, if you want to heal yourself or heal somebody, you have to be able to mentally go to this other level in your mind and focus on it from that level. Now, you would naturally do that. You know what I'm talking about. However, this isn't really taught. And some people get it and understand it automatically, and other people, they really don't get a chance to really learn it. But healing occurs on a level that really isn't physical. It's a non-physical energy that heals. And another aspect is we heal ourselves the same way as we make ourselves sick. So learning about all this is to help make things better.
Can I mention something
Yeah.
on that? One of the ways that people make themselves sick is when they focus more on the negative aspects of their life or their relationships with others around them. When they focus more on positive things, and it leads to less stress in the body. So with less stress, the body is healthier.
Yeah, and that's true as it gets started. It's also sort of a perpetual cycle where one will continue to reinforce the other. So if you do start the negative thinking, it tends to perpetuate itself because it starts to manifest in reality, and you say, well, yeah, see, and it's hard to break away from it. It can work in the other direction if you are manifesting the positive. There's a lot of positive things that happen.
Right.
And if you have to choose either way, obviously I think the positive is going to be a better choice. All right, I'm going to jump ahead. And I'm going to skip this section, even though it's important, and we're going to go to the break and then where it resumes. So they break at 10:29 and they resume at 10:40. Okay, and that's where we'll start. It says, now resume dictation, then I will have a remark to make, and then he says, give us a moment.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And are you there, Maddie?
No.
Okay.
All right. Do you see where 10:10 was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look over.
No. Give us a moment.
10:40.
He says, and this is where it starts with because. Because the conscious mind has been so stressed, parentheses, while stripped of many of its characteristics, parentheses, there is now an overreaction occurring in which normal consciousness is being put down, colloquially speaking. Emotion and imagination are being considered as far superior. The displaced powers of consciousness are still being assigned to the unconscious, and great efforts are being made to reach what seem to be normally inaccessible areas of awareness. To this end, drugs are utilized, cults set up, and there are methods and training manuals galore, period. Yet there is nothing basically inaccessible about such, quote, inner knowledge or experience, unquote. It can all be quite conscious and utilized to enrich the reality that you know. The conscious mind is not some prodigal child or poor relative of the self. It can quite freely focus into inner reality when you understand that it can. You, again, have a conscious mind. You can change the focus of your own consciousness. Now, we won't go any farther than this, and we also are not going to emphasize the first part of this paragraph. However, the last two sentences again are important. Okay. And they are, you again have a conscious mind, which of course seems so obvious. Why is he saying that? Well, look at it. The word have is underlined. What does that mean when you see the word have? If you have something, what is it?
Own.
What?
Own it.
Own it. Okay, if you own it, what is it considered?
Yours.
Yes, there's a word for that. If you own something,
Property.
property. So he is saying that our conscious mind is our property. Now, the reason this is important is because most of us, up to this moment, even everybody listening on this video, is going to be surprised because they think of their conscious mind as what would be considered I. They think of their conscious mind as themselves. They think their conscious mind is everything that is them. And he is making clear that that is not the case. He is saying that you again have a conscious mind. It is a piece of property that is something for us to use like a tool. Therefore, that implies that we are much greater than our conscious mind. The reason I take so long with this information is because that's exactly what it means. Therefore, if the I that we consider me, is much greater than my conscious mind, now, then that expands my view, my worldview immediately, as it should everybody listening to this. However, again, everybody has their own choice on what they choose to believe. This will help expand your mind. His whole point is you don't need any of these manuals or any of these drugs or anything. You can do this all on your own. It's our own innate ability to use our conscious mind in the way that we choose. And he's just stating it as an emphatic fact so that we can learn that. If we learn this as children, as we grow up every day, every week, every month, every year, then it's not some big surprise, and you don't have to go through many rituals or any type of things in order to change how you think, how you use your conscious mind. Now, what's one example that we attempted to use our conscious mind in a different way today?
All of us do.
When we put our feet up.
Right. When we laid down to rest, I gave us a couple exercises. One was different each time in order to learn that our conscious mind doesn't have to always be focused on the physical reality. You can use it as a tool to look into your inner reality. The whole problem with all of this is we don't do that. We aren't training ourselves to pay attention when we go to sleep. We aren't training ourselves to meditate during the day. We aren't training ourselves to use our imagination every hour. We aren't training ourselves to be able to stop this very second, close our eyes, and use our consciousness to be able to turn inward and touch various aspects of ourselves, because there are very many, and we can become familiar with it. There's an entire system of worlds within us that we can actually learn to access. However, we are so unaware of this that to us, when we think of our conscious mind, we think that that's just it, and it's the one that focuses to physical reality, and that's all there is. However, he's saying in this one sentence, you again have a conscious mind. It's a piece of property that our psychic aspect owns and uses and is a tool for us to use. And we are much greater than just our conscious mind. So what is the last sentence then? Who wants to read it?
I will.
Okay.
You can change the focus of your own consciousness.
Now, that's what we're going to write down today. It seems so simple, yet it's not utilized. We are ahead of the times. This information actually is preparing for the next change in evolution. It's preparing for us to learn deep aspects not only of ourselves, but how we're connected to others. This is how we are going to solve a lot of our problems of humanity. Instead of being completely infatuated with the physical world, we're going to learn how to change the focus of our own consciousness and understand deeper aspects that not only connect us to everything, but will also help drop down a lot of our separations, our boundaries, our inability to tolerate each other will start to disappear, because we will realize many of us have experienced a lot of the same things before. We'll begin to see the quality of sacredness in everything and in each other. There'll be less of a tendency to try to separate ourselves out, and there'll be less conflict. And this all comes from learning more inside our minds of what's really going on. We've over-focused on the physical aspect, and that's why we have so many problems. So today we will start by writing the last sentence down, then see if we can make it more easier to remember. So you can change the focus of your own consciousness, and pay attention to how you spell consciousness. It's something that you have to learn how to do. Nature, spirituality. I believe today is the 13th, isn't it?
No, it's the 12th.
12th, okay. Thank you.
I changed my conscious mind focus. I guess my new sentence.
Okay, so what's your sentence?
I changed my conscience mind focus.
Let's see. I like the I. Let's change focus.
I change focus.
Change focus. And that's just an emphatic statement that you do it, which is good. It doesn't have to be something in the future. Why don't we just do that, Maddie?
Okay.
Because I change focus. And therefore, you're simply telling yourself that you do this, which will make it a lot simpler, probably, to do it. I change focus. Now that's it. What this brings is going to be really miraculous if you use it. Of course, the closest world to ours, does anybody know what that is?
Mars?
That's the closest planet, but the closest world where there are other beings that we interact with.
Our soul? A dream world?
A dream world. We literally don't understand what's going on there. That is an entire world that exists and is the closest one to the physical reality. And we have a doorway to it that we can go to. And it's not just us. There are other beings that interact with us in our dream world. You'll find out the more you explore it. I've taught you the one statement you may need to know if you ever run into difficult situations, okay? I'm going to reiterate this now simply because maybe some people don't know it. But if you get in a situation that bothers you, would be considered negative, and you aren't ready to embrace it and deal with it, you simply say, "May peace be with you." Okay? So let's write that down, because you do need to understand this one aspect. If you go into the dream world and are, for whatever reason, your mental aspect is, a little bit frightened, that is what you are going to experience, okay? If you go into the dream world confident, then you'll experience confident adventures. You see what I'm saying? The emotion that you are experiencing at the time is going to manifest the events and the beings that you interact with. Haven't you ever wondered who all these people are in your dream world?
Yeah.
Well, who are they? Haven't you ever wondered who all these beings are that you are interacting with in the dream world? Like right now, I basically know who you are because I've taken time over periods of years to get to know who you are.
Right.
And Maddie, I know who you are. One of the things in the dream world, we have all of these people we interact with, and doesn't it seem strange that we possibly don't really know who they are? So anyway, my point is this. There are definitely living beings who are conscious and aware, and they don't have counterparts on the earth, okay, that we experience in our dream world. It's like a bridge. So these other beings can come from other worlds and interact with us in our dreams. Anyway, to start learning about it and paying attention is one of the next steps for man's mind. And that's what he's saying, the last sentence. You can change the focus of your consciousness, or as we've simplified it, I change focus. However, it's up to you over your period of lifetime to decide what you're going to do with that. It could be, you could go your whole lifetime and really not do much with it. Or you could go your whole lifetime and end up being somebody who discovers great things and is able to pass them on. That's basically what I wanted to do, was to help open the door. Do you see how it's connected to last week's Bible study?
Yes.
Yeah, we have free will. So, although I wouldn't say that it's something that's preordained, it does sort of connect in the sense of, again, why were we given free will if, we don't choose to use it and explore it and see if we can increase our potential or our abilities. And all I'm saying is, look, everybody goes to sleep 4, 6, 8 hours a day. Might as well use some of it. All right, I'll give us a closing prayer here. Dear Lord, thank you. Hopefully this information will help begin to open us and others to wonderful possibilities of life and togetherness that is part of humanity's future, with the blessings and challenges that lie ahead. May we choose life-supportive and positive results.